Hello, friends and viewers. This is Asvardal, and welcome to a brand new episode of my game development live stream. Last week, I started on a brand new project called Sara the Shieldmage. It's a side-scrolling action puzzle platformer with some RPG elements. And well, first I wanted to go ahead and show you I've made a little bit of basic progress on it. I've got a very basic sort of jungle gym scene that I've been using to get the physics and everything figured out and take some of my code from the hero's journey and revise it to be a little bit more useful, a little bit more maintainable, and more importantly, a little bit more stable. There were some just really bonkers bugs with some of it, but well, I wanted to go ahead and show you some of it. So here we go. Let me go ahead and turn down my Twitch stream because, as always, I am watching and looking for your criticisms and ideas and critiques. So, I've got some slight bugs here because you'll notice I've got some of my textures missing, and that was due to some technical issues I'd had today. But what we've got going on right here, there's a couple of pickups, a treasure chest. You can open it and get an item. There's some spikes here. There's a little damage effect that fires whenever Sara falls onto him, and you can't see it at the top corner because it was one of the things that got completely nuked. But there is actually a health and mana GUI up here, as well as some effects that whenever, every so often, Sara will regenerate a little bit of her mana. So, yeah, that's what I've been working on. I'm missing a couple of frames, unfortunately. I'm not quite sure how those got knocked out, but that's probably the easiest thing for us to take care of. So, let me go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna be fixing a lot of this stuff. Well, I am gonna be fixing a lot of this stuff on screen, but more importantly, I'm going to be doing some animation today. That's the main focus of this live stream. Is I wanted to do a little bit more animation and sort of show how my setup has evolved since the last time we started a live stream. So first thing I wanted to do is let's go ahead and turn off the right side animations. One of the things that we just saw go completely wrong was the run animations. We have this mid-stride frame, we have this mid-stride frame, but what we really need is these other frames. So let's go ahead. I've been working on the frames a whole lot this week. I hope it shows. Let me go ahead and export this one right quick. Let's see, this is right foot extended. Go ahead and export that. And then I'm going to export this guy, which is the left extended. I'll go ahead and bind those up on Sara so that you can see that right quick. One interesting thing that you'll probably note right away is that I'm actually not doing this with an atlas yet. The reason for that is that I'm trying to perfect the animations first before I go and make everything in atlas and optimize for speed and efficiency. Okay, I'm missing a death effect too, but I'll deal with that later. I need to work on some of my particle effects. So right. So that's the left one. There's my right one. And ultimately what I want it to be like is... Okay, oh yeah, I forgot. So that's a texture, okay. Oh, I put the size. The sizes are way too small. Those are 128 Those are 128 pixels each. Yeah, see how when I flip through these, it makes just a nice little run cycle. Yeah, I want to go ahead and convert that to Sara's sprite. So what I'm going to do is see, we got the the way it flows is it starts from this one and just goes 2, 3, 4, 1. Wait. Yeah, left down, right. Oh yeah, other direction. So starts here, 2, 3, 4. So I need left extended, right down, right extended. Left down, left extended, right down, and then right extended. Yeah, there we go. Go and apply this to my prefab. Let's see what we got. Gonna have to, yeah, there we go. See, you could just see her running. There's some changes I want to do to it. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to them this episode given how much stuff I've lost. But yeah, you can see I've got a jumping animation. Her hair moves, although in a very strange way. That's something I really want to do something about as quickly as possible. And I'm going to be doing something about her actual animations in the second half of this broadcast. Right now, I'm going ahead and patching the holes necessary to get my test bed running again. Probably the main thing that's going to be happening is I'm going to be working on the UI bits first. What I've done is I've implemented a bit system very similar to the heart system that's used in the Legend of Zelda franchise. What I do is I create a whole bunch of health bits, and then I have some code that correctly calculates in how to show those off. So tell you what, let's go ahead and do that first. I really like that idea. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my health bit system here. This is just a 24 by 24 image. I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. It's going to be a it's going to go ahead and just be a full heart. That's the very first thing that I'm probably going to wind up creating. But first things first, I want to go ahead and create a background for it. Now, one of the things in my screenshots I showed to the Unity community earlier this week was it had a slight glow effect, and that's something I want to do. I think that looks really good. So go ahead and just get it right, like so. Yeah, creating the artwork for the UI bits was actually one of the easiest parts of this. Figuring out the algorithm to make the correct things show at the correct time was a little bit more difficult, but in the end it was well worth it. I really like the way the Zelda games present health. It's just a really clean presentation. I'm very fond of it. So let me go ahead and add some more pixels to the edge here to make sure it's a uniform 2 pixels from the edge. Let me go ahead and add some black, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do my my set opacity trick to go ahead and delete these unnecessary pixels. And then from there we can get to cooking with the rest of the GUI bit. So I can go ahead and set this to nothing. Okay, there we go. Select none. Go ahead and save that. So next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and brighten, make this an actual color first, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a slight Gaussian blur on it. A Gaussian blur just takes a color and just sort of smears it however many pixels in every direction. so it'll make for a nice sort of glow effect. Yeah, you can barely see it because it's alpha, but yeah, it's totally there. I'm gonna go ahead and jack up my jacking up my threshold on the fill there. Okay, so yeah, we're getting close. If I go ahead and up it to 65, yeah, there we go. And then for good measure, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll go over it one more time. With this. And again, this is going to be sort of the container for. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Actually, tell you what, let's not do it that way. Let's go ahead. Tell you what. No, that's all right. What we'll go ahead and do this. The slightly less pronounced Gaussian blur. Yeah, just 1 pixel. There we go. That way it'll show up in a variety of circumstances. And then the next thing we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to keep that up, and we're going to start actually building the heart itself. So I'm going to go ahead and give it 160, 60, 60. That's sort of my the red variant of my my favorite. Oh, operating on the wrong layer there. It's my favorite version of my sort of favorite pixel art color, which is that 60, 100, 160 blue. I think it's got a good mix of saturation, hue, and value. So it's just what I sort of gravitate to when doing pixel art. Another thing with pixel art too is you sort of want to be careful of that whole real is brown sort of thing, because what I've noticed when people do that is that you start it really takes away from the style of the pixel art. Just browns and grays and all those sort of Call of Duty colors. Yeah, they work, but not terribly well. So if you think browns and grays and colors like that make your work more mature, I mean, by all means, go ahead and use them. It's far from me to tell you what you should and should not use. I would just say, oh, it's not going to look very good. Pixel art lends itself to a much more colorful style. But enough about that. I've already got the basics of my my little heart here, and this is a full heart. We're going ahead and starting with a full heart and giving it a pretty generous highlight there, because this is going to be sort of the base of everything we do with this heart UI bit here. Let's go ahead and save this, and we'll duplicate the layer. Now this layer is going to be a little bit more interesting. This is going to be the 3/4 of a heart, and what we are going to do, as you might have already guessed, is we're going, whoa, yeah, okay, that's right, we're working on the right layer. We're going to go ahead and go to here, go here. Whoa, I've still got my opacity way down. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'm going to select all that, colors, color to alpha, boom. That's how you get a magic 3/4 of a heart. So then I'm just going to do the same thing over and over again. It's really easy to make sort of a multi-focus bit. It's just that you have to spend a little bit of time to do it this way, but it's actually not too bad. As you can see, I'm not having to push too many pixels. It's just a matter of me, well, not screwing anything up for the most part. Yeah, I still can't believe my commit failed earlier today. So what happened was I was working on this. I was getting most of the boring stuff that I honestly don't think my viewers would care about. I was just getting it taken care of, just not totally knocked out, and then, well, I spent some time, went out to lunch with my mom, came back, and I was like, I actually got to buy a new game today too. It's called Nemoria. It's sort of a Dwarf Fortress style game, and I mean everything was going good. So about 7:45 rolled around, and I was like, okay, well I'm gonna go ahead and open my project and figure out what I'm gonna say and do this episode. And then it was just sort of like, oh crap, is this one of those oh shit moments that you start to do something and you realize stuff's gone pretty seriously wrong. So yeah, that was sort of what happened with that. Not my finest moment, I'll have to admit, but it well, I'm getting it taken care of. So we've got our health bits taken care of. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and call this health full. I'm just going to try to stick to a very common naming setup. Full, three quarters. Call this guy half. And then finally, whoa, we rename that. Rename this layer. There we go. Let me go ahead and export that. Save my health bit there. And yeah, I mean, that's really all there is to it. We go back to Unity and get this into the game so that my project quits complaining about it. Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot to properly import them. That's very important. So these are all going to be these are actually all going to be advanced textures. The reason I do that is I need them to be read-writable. Go ahead and make sure. Let's see. Go ahead and make sure that they are. Let me go ahead and do automatic true color. Alpha's transparent. There we go. Oh snap! I forgot to do just a empty bit too. Yep, got to remember that part. That's kind of important. You're gonna see why. Pretty much what I do with my bit system is I create a little UI bit for every possible state that one of these hearts or bits can be in. And then on the fly, every time the program realizes it needs to update that widget, it goes through, it recalculates it, and then it just appears on screen, easy as pie. I was able to stabilize that code yesterday, but let me go ahead and make sure I've got everything correctly taken care of for that. Automatic true color. There we go. All right, we're in business. So let me go ahead and assign those. We're going to go ahead and start with our empty, then our 1/4, half, 3/4, and of course, full. Yeah, there you go. Go ahead and apply that. Still going to throw a fit, but yeah, you can see we actually have a health display at the top. And there's some, yeah, there's some other stuff going on with this. So I'm gonna have to debug. Yeah, I can't believe I nuked my Git repository. Well, not my Git. I didn't nuke my Git repository like on the remote server. I just I didn't properly commit everything, and then I did a cleanup, which just killed everything I had that wasn't versioned. So yeah, I mean that was kind of dumb of me, but well, no point crying over spilled milk. But yeah, there you go. You just saw we have a health bit, and there you go. Now, before I completely change gears, do you all have any suggestions on anything you want to see me do with the health bit? I'm going to go ahead and write this in Twitch chat, even though I know you can hear me. Oh, and hello there, Habs1. Yeah, thank you very much for coming and viewing this game development live stream. Hope you're enjoying it. Even the best of us can make dumb mistakes. Habs1, yes. Right now, Unity is the only engine I use. I have used Torque and a little hobbyist engine called RPG Toolkit in the past, but Unity is generally what is most useful for my purposes. So yeah, tell you what, let's go ahead and get the mana bit taken care of, because that's going to be a really easy one. And this is another great opportunity for you guys to make any suggestions. I am watching my Twitch stream right now. Habs1, no, unfortunately, I don't know Game Maker. I was considering looking into it at some point in the near future, though. I'll have to go ahead and examine that sometime. That seems like a really good idea. Just going to go ahead and call that one Monabit. And we're going to just go through the same process as we did last time. For those of you just joining the stream, welcome. I'm working on my side-scrolling adventure game, Sara the Shieldmage. And part of what I'm working on is the fact that I was a noob and I completely nuked some of my... Oh, crap. I completely nuked one of my commits earlier today without even halfway meaning to. So yeah, I'm going ahead and recreating some of the assets on screen for you guys so you can see what I was working on. And a lot of this deals with this sort of bit system that I'm using to show player resources like health, mana, that sort of thing. You're going to get to see the prototype scene pretty often, because I'm going to have to go back to it and double check my work. Yeah, this isn't right because it's like, yeah, it's like two pixels too short this way, 1 pixel too short that way. So, tell you what. And that's another thing too, is as you guys work on games, yes, occasionally stuff does not go right. You'll screw up a commit, or you'll delete something, or you'll overwrite some code with some code that you really didn't realize. Oh, hey there, Themelin. How's it going? Yeah, Themelin is a famed speedrunner. I believe Themelin does a lot of Dragon Quest Monsters and a couple of other JRPGs. So yeah, Themelin, hey, it's good to see you again, man. I've been meaning to get back to my Dragon Quest 1 speedrun. It's just, I don't know, I've been pretty busy lately, and really game development is something that has held my interest more than more even than speedrunning. I'm not done with Dragon Warrior 1. Fear not, viewers. I will defeat that game. See, Hobbs 1, a complete Unity beginner tutorial, even code. Actually, I will do that. I think that's a great idea because I know there's a lot of people who want to use Unity, and since I've used Unity for a number of years now, um, yeah, that would be very helpful for people, especially Themelin. So yeah, you guys, I will absolutely do a Unity tutorial for you guys at some point. But I do need to go ahead and undo my screw up from earlier. Yeah, I have to admit, viewers, I don't usually beat myself up for this sort of thing because, um, well, it just happens every now and again. I mean, we're all human. Everyone screws up. Oh, crap. Yeah. But really, it's just, yeah, it's not like me to screw up that badly. So 60, 100, 160. Yes. Actually, no. No, no, no. Let me rederive this color. Um, yeah, this 60, 100, 160, it's my most favored color for pixel art. In my opinion, 60, 100, 160, it's a nice balance of saturation and value and brightness. It's just really, really easy to use. You can tone it up and tone it down reasonably easy. It's just a great color, and I use variations for it in my more recent projects. So that's why I'm going with that. I'm going to go ahead and tone this up. I'm going to go ahead and increase by half. So 90, 150, 240. There we go. Now I'll do my blur. Yeah, there we go. And as before, you see, yeah, there we go. Actually, no, that's not right. Yeah, if I'm a little bit careful about this, it's because pixel art, one of the things that is actually difficult about pixel art is that, oh, yeah, you have to get the illusion just right or it's not effective. So, okay. Yeah. I'm trying to follow my original track as easily as much as possible. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm on to something again. All right. We are back in business. Yeah. Yeah. So, stream, how's it been going? Especially you, Themelin. Have you been playing any interesting games lately or anything? I'm always eager to hear tales of new games. So, let me go ahead and get another Gaussian blur going. I'm gonna go ahead and make it a slightly weaker Gaussian blur, just like we did with the heart. And there we go. All right. Oh, need to actually show the layer. There we go. Yeah. Actually, oh, got a PB in Dragon Quest Monsters 1 remake. Hey, there you go, Themelin. Very, very nice. I actually love Dragon Quest Monsters 1. Um, I always liked just trying to get some of the more powerful monsters. I tried to get a team of like 3 Metallis one time just as a gimmick, and it didn't go anywhere, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I still love that game. I need to actually play that sometime. Go ahead and do that right quick. Um, there we go. This is a nice little outline color for this. Oh, not like that. There we go. Yeah. Also, for those of you who really enjoy game development, I hope you like watching someone make art or making it yourself, because you're going to spend a lot of time doing this. In my experience, I've written 3 indie games so far, 3 of which are kind of awful. Don't play them. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you're going to spend most of your time writing art for a game. Uh, so yeah, just keep that in mind. All right, so there we go. That looks like a nice little mana bit. So I'm going to go ahead. Let's go ahead and export this thing. GUI mana. I'm going to do mana empty. Oh, typos. Export. Then export mana spell charge. I haven't actually implemented the spell casting part of this just yet. That's something I'm probably going to try to do. Okay, Hobbs 1. What is a mana bit? Well, actually, you're about to see. Let me go ahead and get this hooked up for you, because I think in this case showing is going to be a lot better than me trying to explain it and do a bad job. Pretty much, it's just a show of how many spells you can how many spells you can cast. Sort of like a mana gauge, except I haven't figured out a good way to do gauges in Unity just yet. It's something I'm working on. But yeah, we've got an empty and a full mana charge. Let me go ahead and associate these bits for you. The bit system was something that I coded a little earlier this week. Pretty much it behaves a lot like the hearts in the Legend of Zelda series. So if I go ahead and run, yeah, there we go. You can see I've got 4 hearts. That's a measure of how much health I've got, and you can see I just regenerated 1 of my mana. So yeah, there we go. There's my particle effect. Regenerate another mana. There we go. I picked up a mana pickup, so I got a little bit more. If I had implemented the spell casting thing, I'd be able to hit a key, click on the screen, and some magic effect would happen. So yeah, that's what I mean by bits. It's just this sort of setup. Unfortunately, yeah, I've sort of made my spikes into instant kill things, even though they're supposed to just repel you away and deal a little bit of damage. A sounds are hard, ladies and gentlemen. Don't judge me. There you go. But yeah, I mean, we've got that part working. If you all are sort of curious about the code, let me go ahead and actually let me take a look. Let me show you that, guys. That I think you'd be sort of interested. Now, one thing that you want to keep in mind with my code setups is I do coding for a day job, for starters. So if I look like I have a lot of code files, I do, but I also use some sort of high-end coding concepts in my stuff, just because that's the level I'm coding at right now. When I actually go and do a Unity tutorial, I'm gonna very carefully think it over so that it's easy to follow and easy for me to explain. I think trying to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff like inheritances and specific architectures I've been exposed to, if I did that as part of the tutorial, your eyes would glaze over and you'd watch something else, and I wouldn't possibly blame you for it. But let me go ahead and show you what's going on. One of the things we have here, just sort of the basic thing, is the health controller. This is a script that goes on the player and helps track the player's health, funny enough. What it's got is there's a switch here to reload the scene on death. There's a health system, which if I go to that, it's just a class that keeps track of your health, your max health. I was briefly considering doing like a Final Fantasy 13-2 effective max HP thing, where you could get like a status effect that would limit the maximum amount that you could heal. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that in. I'm not sure if it's mechanically necessary to the game, but it's something that's there. Some special helper stuff, and more importantly, the heal and take damage methods. All of these sort of work together, and then there's a property is dead to figure out, well, if you died. Some other methods, some ways to apply item effects and other stuff. But yeah, that's what's in the health system. So what happens is I attach this health controller to a player. I give it some default health, and then whenever like you run onto a spike or something, that spike has code that finds this health controller and tells it to take damage, and then stuff happens. If you have a damage effect set up, it emits some particles, health gets reduced. The health widget that, you know what I just created all those bits for? Yeah, this is the bit of code that tells that to go update itself. And then if we've been dealt lethal damage, then we have a bunch of other stuff to do, like spawn off a death effect, inactivate the game object while we're waiting for the screen to fade out, and then, of course, if necessary, reload the level. So yeah, that's sort of what's going on with the health controller. The mana controller is a little bit different. Let me go ahead and show you guys that, since y'all seem interested in code. We have really much of the same stuff. We have this mana system here. If this looks familiar to you, you absolutely should. Hobbs 1, do I use sprite sheets? Not yet. One of the reasons that I have all of my sprites fragmented into different frames is to aid in the animation process. When I have the sprites set down in stone, I'm going to be compiling them into a sprite atlas or a sprite sheet, and I'll have to rewrite some of my sprite systems to go ahead and make effective use of those. But yeah, that is something that I know I'm not doing that I should be, but I'm going to be fixing that. So yeah, just it's an idiosyncrasy. Just keep that in the back of your mind, that the way I'm doing it, it's good for developing the game, but not necessarily for the end result. It's not the most efficient route to your goal. Yeah, really there's not a lot to say with the MP system. A lot of this is the same. The main difference you may notice, though, in the mana controller is that we have this update where I check every frame to regenerate. And Hobbs 1, it's your my game works for me. Yeah, it works for me for right now. Yeah, just whatever works for you works for you. If you're ever live streaming your game and I see something, I mean, of course I'll speak up, but I'll never try to tell you guys how to write your game. I mean, it's your creation, so I appreciate that, Habs. Yeah, thank you for the feedback on the sprite sheets. Good call there. Yeah, check regeneration. It's just a timer. One of the things I do is I cache the time of the last regeneration. If enough time has passed, and if you've got enough mana, then you'll gain 1 tick, and cycle will repeat. We'll set the last regeneration time, and this will just keep on going ad nauseum. Alternatively, I could disable this regeneration thing. Actually, I might just do that. So, one of the cool things that you can do, public bool set regenerate mana to true by default, and then if you're not regenerating mana, don't do anything. Back away. And you're gonna know. Oh, and that's another thing I want to touch on, since you guys are interested in seeing more code. You'll notice I do this sort of setup with my ifs a whole lot. Well, it's not quite a best practice in all circumstances, but the reason I do this is in the programming world there is a coding statistic called cyclomatic complexity. That's just really fancy language for how many curly braces do I have in my code. Now the reason you want to cut down on this is not just for your readability. Curly braces do make code a little bit harder to read, but they also make Um, they also make the code harder to compile. They make the code a little bit harder to execute. It makes the just-in-time and it just makes compilers do a little bit more work. With which, if your code is being just-in-time compiled, it starts to stack up and slow it down. So if you write your if statements like this, you can potentially save yourself quite a bit of time. Now, Unity also has some other strange quirks due to its garbage collection. Some of those I'm not leveraging as efficiently as I might, but right now my concern is to get the game in a workable state so I can demonstrate the mechanics and make sure that my game concept is a good one before I worry about going back and refining code to be super duper efficient. That's one of the things that one of the more famed Unity forum goers always says: shipping your game is a feature. Make sure it gets in. Yeah, Themlin. Glad I could show you that. Yeah, it's just a little trick, and I want to reinforce it's not always optimal. There are cases where you sort of have to do if condition, curly braces, bunch of extra stuff. You can't just return out of every single if statement. But yeah, I'm glad it's good to show you that. I tried to show that to my coworkers at work, and they were sort of like, "What?" But yeah, enough worries about that though. Yeah, that's sort of what's going on with the health and mana system. So if that's good, one of the other things that we need is we need some spikes. This ain't work. Actually, tell you what, let's do something a little easier. The spikes still aren't working. Don't get me wrong, but we can do something a bit easier first. Go ahead and update these health and mana pickups. And then I'm going to update their shader to be a sprite, because one of the things I do in this sort of strange setup is I like all my things that you can interact with. I like those to be sprites, and then I like the background to be 3D, so that you have this wonderful background, but you can know at a glance, oh, this is a thing I can go interact with. So let me go ahead and show you guys that in action. Yeah, so there we go. Picked up the pickup. Got a little bit of regeneration going on. Oh yeah, I implement a treasure chest system. So yeah, I can open a treasure chest. Yeah, chest is empty. It knows that it's empty. Yeah, just something else cool I wanted to show you guys. So yeah, if I go to my scene, you can see those a little bit more clearly. Yeah, and they just sort of fit in just really, really well. Yeah, there you go. There's a few things I could do too. We could either work on a particle, which is a little bit easier than it seems, but it's also a little bit harder. Or we could just do spikes, which are like raw pixel art. So, yeah, tell you what, let's do spikes. I know Total Biscuit isn't totally fond of spikes, but well, A, it's not his game, and B, spikes are a useful tool. Um, one of the things I like about spikes is that spikes are just like a sort of instant signal that, hey, this is a hazardous thing, don't step on it, right? So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do it like, go ahead and do 2. Huzzah. Huzzah. There we go. I'm actually recreating the spike that I'd made earlier this week, but that was lost with the git commit earlier. So let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and do like that. Then I'm going to go ahead and start building the actual spike. Now what I could do that would probably be a little bit more efficient of a way of doing this would be to go ahead and just only worry about one side of the sprite. Whoa. And then mirror that, copy it, mirror it. Yeah. Okay, and Thumlin got to go. Okay, cool. Hey, I appreciate Thumlin. I'll go ahead and I'll make sure and I'll save the stream to some highlights and to my YouTube account. So yeah, I appreciate you dropping in, Thumlin. I'll see you around, and good luck on the Dragon Quest games. Yeah, actually, yeah. So yeah, I just found out the hard way that that's not gonna work because I was approaching the top of the image there, and that's not really too useful. Okay. And actually, that has gotten horribly misaligned. There we go. Alrighty, we're back in business. There we go. So yeah, go ahead and give this a base here. And now we can get started with the more interesting part, which is building a better spike. We go ahead and make sure it's appropriately ominous metal color. Let's go ahead and give this a little bit of shadow. Let's go ahead and make sure that the pointy part is shiny. One of the things that I like to do with environmental hazards is make sure that they are suitably visible, but not too visible. I don't like it when you're just walking around and you stumble onto like a spike or a trap or something, and you're like, hey, I didn't even know that was there. I think that's really poor game developership, because the point of a game is to provide a player with interesting choices, and if you don't know something is there, you can't really make a choice about it. So, cool. Let me go ahead and duplicate this layer now. I'm going to go ahead and make this a spike horizontal left. And this is going to, I hope y'all are ready to see some really lazy efficient pixel art, because yeah, this is how you save yourself a ton of work. You find really useful, really easy things you can do, like, oh, if I can rotate my image and then change some colors, that saves you a ton of work. There's no reason you should be recreating your frames from scratch every time. Well, there are certain cases you will have to recreate your frames from scratch, but they are thankfully rare. If you catch yourself doing them a lot, then that's cause for concern. Let's see. Go ahead and do like this. Yes. Right. Go ahead and grab that shadow color there. So there we go. Then we're going to duplicate this guy, and I hope y'all are ready to get even lazier with our pixeling, because that's our right spike. So yeah, there you go. Nice and easy. Nice and easy spikes. Right. So we're going to go ahead and call this spike That's facing left. Yeah. Yeah, facing left. Alright, there we go. So we now have spikes once again in the game. Go ahead and make sure that these are suitably set up. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and rename this material. One of the things in Unity is that for things to appear in the 3D game world, most of the time you can't. It's not just a matter of, oh, I'm going to stick a bitmap on it and make that a sprite. What you're going to do instead is you're going to need to also associate an image and a shader with it too. That's one of the main differences between a predominantly 2D engine like, oh crap, gave that one the wrong one. Yeah, Sprite. Yeah, there's right. Yeah, that's one of the main differences between a engine like like a game maker, which is it seems to be very geared towards 2D effects, and a 3D based engine like Unity, which assumes a lot less, but well, yeah. And we've got one last spike. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, spike vertical, sprite horizontal. Let me go ahead and change that to be like so. Go ahead and apply these. Apply this. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it like so. There's our mono pickups, but yeah, see, there's our spikes. Fall onto it, die. Fall onto it, die. Fall onto it, die. Fall onto it, die. There we go. Alright, so I've recreated some of the glory of this scene for you guys. There's some other things I'm going to implement in code. I'm probably going to do that more in this second half of this though. Tell you what, while we're still working on pixel art, actually no, we've actually gone way over. Wow, my bad, friends and viewers. Tell you what. Went ahead and made note of the time. Let's go ahead and let's do a little bit of code. Let's get dangerous with this game development nonsense, shall we? One of the problems we're having from a little bit earlier is that our damage sources aren't properly repelling our player, and that's cause for concern because as you're seeing, the player falls onto it and they just get dealt a crazy amount of damage. So yeah, these are both spikes. They're both supposed to be repelling the player at a given amount of force, but they're just not able to. Float damage, force damage. Or I just damage. Oh. Or I put in the parameters wrong when I was rushing to recreate what I could for the dev podcast. There we go. There we go. Yeah, and you can see the health pickup works. I like jumping on spikes. Whee! Look at me jumping on spikes. It's actually kind of cool. I like the white little things that come out. In its own way, it's kind of cool. There we go. Got a little bit of mana regen going on there. We could still open our chest. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, as you can see, just be careful whenever you're putting in your parameters for stuff, and everything will be good. Yeah. That was the biggest thing that I was seeing, though. I guess the next big thing we could do. Well, we need a lot. We need a lot more art. I don't like showing quite this much art. My plan is usually to do two sets of activities for 45 minutes each. But I mean, this whole broadcast has sort of been not according to plan. So tell you what, let's go ahead and make another particle, shall we? Now, unlike my other ones, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing this in all white, and there's a very good reason for that. Specifically, our particle shader is an additive shader, and if it's all white, we can actually tint the particle. There are cases where we wouldn't really want to tint the particle, but well, we can. And for this sort of glowy sort of particle, it's actually not a bad thing at all. So I'm going ahead and I'm using my stylus for this part. I'm just going to go ahead and block in a texture for you guys very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and make it a four-armed cross. Now here's something I bet you all didn't know. You want to be very careful if you're making a cross red. And the reason for that is because the red cross is actually a registered trademark of the Red Cross Association. So yeah, if you're making med packs for games and a red cross, chances are good you're committing you're actually violating trademark on those. So yeah, just be careful about that. There are ways you can get around it by recoloring it, adding additional details. But yeah, their trademark covers the even four-armed cross that is red. So please be aware of that. And of course, they're a life-saving organization, so if you're infringing their trademark, you should feel sort of bad. They do some good work. Right, so there we go. We have a very, very rough healing particle. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of width to the brush, and now we're going to go ahead, just going to go around the edges and give it sort of a ghostly outline. There we go. Then I'm going to be in a little bit closer. We're going to make the glow a little bit stronger towards the four-armed cross. Then I'm going to add some very faint lines, because these are going to direct the player's attention to the particle, because this is a very important particle. You need to know if you have received some healing. Go ahead and strengthen the diagonal lines a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and add some whoosh to it. Yeah, strengthen those. So yeah, the end result is we get a particle that looks like this. Now this is 64 by 64. When we emit it in the game, they're going to be at a much smaller size. So let's go ahead and, yeah, actually, let me export that more importantly. FX healing. Yeah, I'm just going to call that healing particle. It's not quite as bad as a healing laser, but yeah, it's something. true color. We don't have to worry about this texture being writable or anything. That was only for the health and mana bits, but yeah. So we're going to go ahead and use our health particle here for the regen effect, and we're going to go ahead and have our health particle be used for the going to have our health particle also be used for the pickups little effect as well. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and make this one 60, 60, 60. It is red, so all that trademarky stuff I just talked about sort of applies, but bear in mind it also has these extra whooshes and the glow, so it's really not the same. Red cross, I'm not infringing. Please don't sue me. We can do the same thing, except we're going to make the healing effect sort of on the green side. Yeah, so there we go. Health healing effect. What? Really? That's so. Alright, there we go. And in our editor, we can just see the heals streaming off of the main character. Yeah, look at them go. She's just emitting healing like it's her business. And then our health pickup. Yeah, you can see it's emitting those little pluses. Yeah, there you go. You know that this is going to be a healing pickup. Let's go ahead and see it in action. So there we go. We need to jump on some spikes for a while. Whee, this is fun, isn't it? Let's get healed. There we go. Then, there we go. Not too shabby, ladies and gentlemen. Not too shabby at all. Sumos. Yeah, the technical term I've always heard for this graphic style is 2.5D. I personally disagree with that as a designer. This is a I like to call it 3D environment with 2D interactables. It's definitely not 2.5D. It's definitely not 2D. It's definitely not 3D. It's 3D environment with, well, 2D interactables. But yeah. Also, if you're curious, I don't believe I've seen you in this in the dev stream before. This is a relatively new project I've made called Sara the Shieldmage. It's a side-scrolling action puzzle platformer with some RPG elements. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Sumos. It's absolutely not 2.5D. But yeah, this is a very basic technical prototype I've made for it. I've got animations. You can get items. You can jump on spikes. You can somehow jump into the spike, and you can die by spikes. And you can regenerate mana. There we go. See? Oh, Sumos. Oh yeah, Sumos! Oh, I can't believe I forgot you, bro. Yeah, that's right. I believe you were the one from Portugal who's studying game development. Yeah, it's good to see you again. I am so sorry. Yeah. How, hope life's going well for you. I didn't know you were working on a 2D game, though. That's really kind of awesome. If you don't mind, while I'm streaming, how's that going for you? While you're typing up that response, though, let's go ahead and back away from that because we have some other particles, namely these mana pickup particles. I'll go ahead and start working on those. Yeah, let's see, mana regen. Actually, tell you what. Actually, no, I don't need that. There we go. Or maybe I do need it. Okay. So, oh, cool. You've actually got your oh, Sumas Scott. Oh, man. Okay. This is okay. I'm just gonna call this a off day for me. Actually, some of the if you're wondering, Sumas, part of the reason why I'm recreating so much of this art is because earlier today I did a whole bunch of artwork on the game. Right, I got some coding fixes, did a lot of good work. I do my commit. I think everything's gone well, and then I clean up everything, and I only realized like 30 minutes before this dev live stream that when I did the cleanup, not everything was all committed, so I've actually lost a bunch of stuff, and I was like frantically working before the live stream to re-implement well, most of it really. Let me go ahead and okay, and click the link. Okay. Oh, cool. That's going to be really awesome. Tell you what, Sumas, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at that probably immediately after I get done streaming. I really love RPG games. I mean, that's one of the genres I've always loved. Yeah, yeah, it was not my brightest moment. I'll be the first to admit, but yeah, you are getting to see some good stuff, and you're getting to see that I made some progress since my dev live stream last time too. It's better than a Word document, right? But let's go ahead and actually do something about that. Go ahead and delete this. Also, I hope it's not wrong that I feel like Bob Ross. Very famed artist back in the day. Textures, effects. I'm gonna pick up particle. And get this taken care of. If you guys ever wanted to see artwork made live, actually, let me go ahead and go back to my brush here. Well, then today's your lucky day because you're going to get to see a lot of artwork made live. Actually, there were a couple of people in the stream earlier. Themelin, who's a well-known Dragon Quest speedrunner, and another gentleman, I believe, who appears to be a RPG Maker user. Actually, no, this isn't working. Go ahead and expand this brush somewhat. There we go. That's more like it. That's more powerful. Yeah, they were in here and they were looking around, and they got to see a whole lot of art being made. So yeah, okay. Try not to make this too obnoxiously obnoxious. Here we go. Actually, there we go. That actually looks like a reasonable particle there. Also, okay, Sumas, how am I doing my animations? Um, yeah, I forgot you hadn't seen the earlier part of this dev blog. Pretty much what I'm doing is right for the time being, I'm creating individual frames for development purposes, and then I have a little sequencing system that just projects them onto the little quad mesh. Um, I'm planning to show that off sometime soon, actually. Themelin and the other gentleman who were on the stream earlier, they wanted me to go ahead and do a set of newbie Unity tutorials, and that seemed like a sort of a interesting script to help them figure out things and show some principles. As one of the later examples, I was actually thinking about like showing some more advanced refactors they could make to that code, but there's more to it than that. Alternatively, I believe you can also use the animation system in Unity now to do sprite animations, but I really don't have any experience in that. When I first wrote my animation system, Unity didn't have that capability. If you wanted to animate your sprites, well, you did the way I'm doing it, which is by hand. But well, enough about that. Let's go ahead and get this particle taken care of, and then we'll make stuff happen. Also, I'm sort of curious. How are you guys liking the stream? Are you liking the amount of art that you see? Are you liking? Are you wanting to see more code? Are you wanting to see music? Oh, WebTech. Oh, cool. That's an awesome link, Sumas. Tell you what, I will go ahead and take note of that right quick. And I will take a look at that because that might really help me. I'm doing my animations right now through GIMP, which it works. It's just not the easiest possible thing to ever use. I was hoping today that I would get to do some music composition, but that was before I nuked my project. So okay, we've got the mana pickup there, taking the mana pickup effect taken care of. You go ahead and get that. And then of course I'm going to go ahead and give it my favorite color, the 60-100-160. There we go. It looks a little like bubbles almost. Let's see how this is doing. Okay. So there we go. We regen 1. Our little pickups there. Actually, I might go ahead and just use that. You know what? I'm just going to rename this one later. I think that's a better idea. Why did I do it? Oh, I did that on the wrong one. Oh, wow, that was dumb of me. Okay, well, there you go. I guess today is not my day to be a winner, but that's okay. Either that or I am error. Oh, thank you, Sumas. Yeah, it was a little. It's a little. I'm still actually having a hard time making particles. I'm a programmer by trade, so my art skills are a little on the iffy side. Definitely take what you see of my art with a grain of salt, and definitely if you see something, absolutely make comments. If you come across the YouTube version of this stream later on, you can always leave comments under there too if you ever choose to look at this for some reason. Yeah, I think it looks cool. So the good news is that means that I've actually managed to reclaim most all of the progress I had lost earlier today. So yeah, Sumas, all-around developer. Unfortunately, I've noticed, well, I say unfortunately, in games that usually is the case. I don't think y'all have yet seen me write music or anything yet. Yeah, I'm pretty omnidisciplinary myself, so it's just a matter of growing into the skills. I think it's not the easiest thing in the world, but yeah. I'll give you a link, you'll sub. Okay, tell you what, I will absolutely do that. If any of you like seeing these dev live streams at a later date, you can always go to youtube.com/user/asvardual. Or the Asvardual project, my bad. And that should take you to my profile. As soon as I have the saved version of these dev of these dev live streams saved there. I'll make it the landing video for my channel, so you don't even have to worry about it. I'll run. Music is not your strong point. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a music theory uh, live session sometime. Music theory is a very interesting field. I was actually a music minor when I was going to college, and it as a programmer, as someone who's used to thinking in rules and logic and more tidy cause and effect relationships, having classes where you're given some of those same rules, but with the caveat that if whatever you make sounds cool enough, it's okay to break those rules. It blew my mind. It was the hardest thing to wrap my head around. I was unfamiliar with the terminology. The effect of music on history is another interesting thing too. But yeah, I highly recommend taking some music courses, even if you're not in college right now. See what you can do about like sitting in on those, because music courses will change your mind about so many things. It's insane. Um, Definitely something I recommend. Let me see what else. We've still got about 45 minutes on this development live stream. I could actually tell you what, y'all. Okay, Sumas, you were curious about my sprite system. I'll go ahead and show you that. I think you might be interested. So what I've done is I've created a component here. It's my Edvardual sprite system. It's semi-proprietary for right now. Pretty much what I do is I have this sprite object that has a mesh filter and a renderer. Renderer gives it a default texture and a default shader. Well, what we do with the sprite system, open that up again for you, is what we have is a list of sprite animations. Um, there's all sorts of things like which animation you're currently using, in what direction you are flipping through the frames. There is a little bit of a timer mechanic on this too, and of course your material that you're interacting with. So pretty much what we do is we have two possible ways that we can use the sprite system. We can either directly interact with it, or we can manually dictate through a code hook when it needs to increment to the next frame of the animation. The way that works, to get down to it, it's pretty much we access the texture that the texture of the material that we're working with, and we directly set the image on that. And Sumas says JavaScript learning C++ in your game development course. Yeah, about the languages in this case, you're actually going to, as you go through, you're going to learn a lot of compatible things. There's some really cool things that you can do between C# and C++. C# is really good about abstracting a lot of those low-level concerns like memory management, specifically memory management and pointers away from you. But JavaScript is a completely different beast altogether. It's a different programming paradigm for starters. I'm a JavaScript developer in my JavaScript and C# developer in my day job. I'm a web developer, and our team right now is actually learning Angular.js, and yeah, it, it's serving as a good way to bring everyone on our team together, because there's people who I work with who aren't used to JavaScript, and having that architecture serves as a good inroads for them to get up to speed from C# to JavaScript. Um, I'm usually pretty adaptable with languages, so I when I was learning JavaScript, I didn't have too hard of a time, but that was just me. Your results may vary. Absolutely, though, yeah, learn as many languages as you can. Very important, and not just for making games, but also for the rest of your commercial career. Um, I actually do game development in my off time for the most part. I of course have a 40-hour work week because hey, man's got to eat and have shelter, right? So yeah, that's really cool that you're learning all those languages right away, though, man. That's going to serve you really well. Um, As far as the rest of the sprite system, yeah, there's not really too much to it. I've created an enumeration where I could say, oh, we're looping through an animation, or we're doing a one shot, or we're going to ping pong back and forth between the start and the end of the Unity JavaScript. Yeah, you can ping pong back and forth between the start and the end of the animation. Yeah, Sumas, whatever you do, Unity JavaScript is not like regular JavaScript in the rest of the world. It's very much a classical language as opposed to a functional language. It's actually more like Google's Dart language or another JavaScript variant called CoffeeScript. So yeah, just um, you'll want to learn proper JavaScript at some point. But yeah, definitely don't worry too much about it. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and flip through the code. If you guys are looking at this in the future from the magic of YouTube, you'll sort of see that I have some I have a little bit of link sprinkled in. That's short for language integrated query. It's a feature of the .NET framework starting from .NET 3.0. A lot of this, though, is just it's a very simple system of just pretty much flipping through individual frames. Oh, and Themelin, you're back. Hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, Unity JavaScript is different from web JavaScript, so don't confuse the two. They are very, very, very different. I might need to do some more programming streams because I love programming. Yeah, Sumas, don't let normal JavaScript scare you. I'll get into that some other time. It's not really pertinent to my game development stream per se, but I could talk code all night and never give up. So, but yeah, I mean, this is sort of what's going on with my sprite system. It's just flipping through individual frames. At some point, I'm actually going to rewrite this so that it works with a sprite atlas instead of just going through frame by frame. So right now this is very much development code, so don't take this as gospel or anything. But yeah, you can see sort of how I've chosen in the short term to go about working with my 2D sprites. And I took the longest way to finally get to that conclusion, did I not? Okay. So let's go ahead and run our setup one more time. We've come a long, long, long way this episode. We've got animations again. We've got health pickup. Oh yeah, I added code to the health pickup so that if you're not injured, yeah, I'm not picking it up. Yet, if I jump on spikes, because it's fun to jump on spikes, yeah, I can all of a sudden pick up the... do that. Yeah. Should see your development code. Yeah, don't worry about it too much. Actually, what I like to do is actually have my code stored on GitHub when I properly commit it. I might give the my GitHub repository in the description of this video when I upload it to YouTube. That might be useful for you guys. I'm also probably going to make a public repository for my Unity tutorials, because I think there's a lot that could be done with that, and having access to the code would help. And GitHub is really a great way to do things. Oh, by the way, let's talk version control. Pastebin, Dropbox, those are not version control. Those are file sharing. Very different from version control. Version control gives you abilities like being able to go back to a previous check-in, being able to branch a repository so that you can be working on something completely different than someone else and then merge your changes back later. It's incredibly useful. If you're using Dropbox or like Pastebin for your file sharing, yeah, be very careful with that, because yeah, you're just opening yourself up for a lot of risk. Yeah, version control is absolutely the way to go. But yeah, that's cool, Sumos. Tell you what, I'll go ahead and take a look at that at some point, and I'll may get back to you on that. I'm actually a little on the busy side much of the time between my game and others. Also, I try to avoid looking at other people's code too, because I am a little bit critical. Like I said, I program for my day job, and if I get going on code, yeah, Thumbelin Hearts GitHub. Yeah, I do too, man. I do too. Well, it is 9:56 Central Time. I don't know what time it is in you all's neck of the world, but unfortunately, I have to get ready for work tomorrow. So, yeah, we've made a lot of progress this live stream. We've got some health bits, we've got particles, we've got spikes. Most importantly, we've got spikes. What I'm going to try to work on this coming week is getting some of the spellcasting mechanics implemented in the game. I think those will be a little bit interesting. Let's see. Solo working game. Oh, you were working on some mods for Arma 2 and DayZ. Oh, very nice. Oh, cool. Yeah, modding is some pretty hardcore stuff. Oh, 4 a.m. in Scotland. Holy heck, Sumos. Yeah. Thank you very much for staying up that late. You're a real trooper to watch my stream. I commend you for that, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go to sleep, man. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, spellcasting mechanics. I've got a few ideas. Spellcasting's probably going to be the most iterated on part of my game. I'm not yet certain what I want to do with it, and it could change radically as I'm working on this project. So I think it'll be interesting for you guys to see. One thing I do want to say though is each of you who have liked, subscribed, followed, whatever, thank you very much. I absolutely appreciate you guys. Yeah, thank you too, Themlin. I really appreciate y'all coming and looking and seeing and enduring my bad explanations of stuff. Yeah, if there's anything you guys want to see, absolutely feel free to send me private messages, comment, definitely be in chat. You go 3 to 4 hours sleep. Holy man, yeah, you gotta sleep more than that, man. 3 to 4 hours doesn't give your mind enough time to process all the information. You need at least 6 hours for your brain to fully process everything you see in the. Well, okay, whatever. I'll stop telling you how to sleep. So, my apologies, man. But yeah, I do want to thank you guys very much for coming and watching this development live stream. I hope you've enjoyed. I will be broadcasting again at 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time next Sunday. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I should have a much more complete mechanical prototype for you guys to look at and give feedback and ideas and just hopefully enjoy. That's the main thing. Even if you guys totally love what I'm making, as long as y'all are enjoying this, that's one of the many reasons I do this dev live stream. I want you guys to enjoy it. So thank you all very, very much. Oh wow, crazy adrenaline. Eey. Oh wow. Okay, well, there you go then. Alright, well, I hope you've enjoyed this adrenaline ride of me trying to rebuild this project after my mess up. I will commit this very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and call this an episode. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time.